Good morning to all of you. We thought it was very important for us to have this webinar where we could just give you the latest update on the covered bond label, and especially on the HTT, what has to be done in the coming weeks in order to be fully compliant with the HTT 2023. As you know, we have a clear mandatory deadline, which was the end of the first quarter. So starting from June, all the decisions of the HTT 2023 become mandatory. And it's very important that the entire community will follow this instruction, because it will show to the regulators that we are able to bring not only innovation into the market, but also to provide a governance where when we decide things, we move all together. This is extremely important because while we are speaking, the European Commission is sending a mandate to the European Banking Authority, asking the European Banking Authority to analyze different elements of the covered bond market, for sure the third-party equivalence. And I think the HTT as a global instrument is providing a very important pillar for the recognition of covered bonds outside of the European Union. So thank you to all the global stakeholders who have accepted to use the HTT. I remember the first HTT has been implemented in Singapore. And this is a sign that we are a global community. It's a sign for us, but especially to the European authorities who now will be in charge of setting the rules for the third-party equivalence. We expect also the deadline to be a bit postponed, so probably will not be 8th of July 2024, but probably the European Banking Authority will take a bit longer, and we think that it can go around 2025. That's our understanding. More importantly, the European Banking Authority will be tasked probably also to define what is a green covered bond. As you know, this can have a huge impact on disclosures. The European Central Bank has been very attentive to have as much as possible ESG disclosure in the HTT. The Deputy Director General of Market Operation in Helsinki was very, very clear. He repeated his message that was already provided in Vienna in last September, where he invited the covered bond community to disclose as much as possible on ESG. That's why we want to be proactive. We want to be really ahead of the curve and trying to show that the covered bond community is always proposing solutions before raising the problem. Also, it's not a secret that during this turmoil crisis, covered bonds have confirmed once again that they are able to reopen the market. Congratulations to our Canadian friends that actually reopened the market after the turmoils linked to the Silicon Valley Bank. I think that was a huge success that we have seen as a confirmation that the covered bond instrument is absolutely an anti-crisis instrument. And disclosure is part of this. Allow me also to name another important success. We have seen 2-3 weeks ago, Bank of Italy finalizing the secondary legislation on covered bonds, and they accept officially the HTT as a way to disclose data under the secondary Italian legislation. It's exactly what happened already in Denmark. Already the Danish FSA has actually used the HTT as a legislative benchmark. And this is a success of all of you that are doing an excellent work. And they consider the HTT a global point of reference and benchmark in terms of quality for disclosures. We want to do more, and we wanted to discuss together with the Label Committee about potential improvement. Daniele, we open the revision period on the HTT, so if you want to send us a suggestion, that's the moment to do so. The Label Committee will meet in June and will reflect about all the input received, and we'll try to make changes where is needed on the HTT for 2024. So in Munich in September, the Label Committee will approve the new HTT as we normally do. And this will be announced with a new press release in September, probably the same date of the Label Committee, so the 12th of September. And issuer can start to prepare themselves for the new HTT 2024. This is a a dynamic instrument which always trying to put the bar as much as possible reachable for the market and trying to show that we work as a community all together. We don't need the regulation because we are able to provide governance to this market, and we are always proactive. With this, I would like to express the thank you for your excellent work. We have been discussing over the past month with the regulators in Australia, in Singapore, and all over the world. We will be in Washington to present the HTT also to the World Bank and all the authorities in the emerging countries that are looking at the HTT as a point of reference. And that's, I think, your merit. And we would like to thank you for what you have been doing on a daily basis behind the screen and trying to keep the HTT as a valid and solid instrument for comparison in terms of disclosure. Daniele, I pass you the ball, and maybe if you can share the agenda of today.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Luca, and welcome to all of you. The agenda is quickly set. It will be the email I sent you on the 18th of April. I will share with you my screen so we have it all in front of us. What we are going to quickly discuss is, as Luca has already introduced, will be a couple of things on the HTT. So first of all, that starting off cutoff date 30th of March 23, so Q1, end of Q1 23, every labeled issuer is has to use the as sole reporting tool, the HTT 2023, which finishes officially its phase-in period starting last September. The other point is that more or less at the same in parallel we have started a couple of weeks ago the opening of the HTT revision. And then what I would like also to stress is a little point of, especially for those of you who issue sustainable covered bonds, to provide relevant information. And we will complete this informatory session with the latest updates of our website, which there were plenty since we have switched from the old version of last June to now. We have a lot of updates, and we would like to share with you all the potentialities there are, so you can make the best of the website, and also there if you have any questions and suggestions, we are all ears. So starting with the HTT revision process. As said, on the 18th of April, our last Labour Committee meeting in Helsinki, we have officially opened the revision process of the HTT 2024. As it has been now, I think it's our 7th year of revision of the HTT, we kindly ask all the all the labeled issuers. So you who are using the HTT on a daily, monthly, or quarterly basis, to flag up your suggestion in providing any suggestions, proposition to us regarding what can be improved, implemented, changed, cancelled of the HTT. And this information, you can either send them directly to us using the HTT modification form. In the email you see now here on screen, I put it in as an attachment, the first HTT, the first Excel file you find here, where I put now my cursor on. You fill out these, and you can either send it directly to us, or even better, send them to your national coordinators, who are tasked to collect all the suggestions received in their jurisdiction and send them to us by the 26th of May. So you see, you have 3 weeks time still to go through the HTT you're using now, so the 23 version, and to set us any suggestion you may have. Be aware that these can be changes of whatever type. So they can be from the smallest cosmetic change. There, for example, a typo. There is always a typo in either a title, a section, an amendment, or there is a blocked cell which should not be blocked. Just this morning I received a suggestion that in the glossary there is an optional cell which should be unblocked, which is blocked. So this needs to be unblocked. So these very small things, but you can also range your suggestion to more structural proposition. Like, for example, some suggestion on how to report ESG factors. Be aware, in any case, that if you are interested in suggesting about ESG, we have also a dedicated task force to it, where we have experts and also interested parties who are working with the HTT, who are now analyzing and considering what type of suggestion, what type of improvement can be inserted in the HTT to even better, let's say, accommodate and grasp all the information there is around ESG. Be it, as you see, for the time being, HTT is only looking at the mortgage side. We're discussing with the public sector labeled covered bond issues. We're also going to have a chat with the shipping asset labeled covered bond issues to see how to accommodate also these other asset classes with how to they can, let's say, register ESG-like information. So this, in a nutshell, your, let's say, time to shine is till the 26th of May, where we collect all the information from the market. As Luca said, in June, we are going to have a label committee meeting where our decision board will be presented all the amendment propositions we received from you, we received from our task forces, and they are then they are going to discuss and eventually also agree on which amendments to bring into the draft version of the of HTT 2024 over the summer period. If there are any, let's say, points which are still to be ironed out, discussed, or clarified, will be a moment where secretariat, so us and the labor committee, will come to a, let's say, final conclusive agreement on the amendments, which will be presented and officially approved in our Munich meeting in September. And then again on the 12th of September, when we have our labor committee meeting in Munich, we officially will agree on the amendments, on the tabled amendments, and the new phase-in period of 2024 starts from that day. So the two versions, 2023 and 2024, will coexist until Q1 2024, when the 2024 version will be the sole allowed version. And the system and the revision and the cycle, let's say, restarts again then. So this, in a nutshell, the revision process. Are there any questions from your side regarding this revision process, or we can go on in point number 2 of the agenda?
Daniele, can
Yes.
I just we give a bit of time to people to reflect if they have any question. Maybe to provide an information, today we will be sending an email to all the ECBC members to inform about the plan for Munich. And allow me to give you some details, because we are trying to make the Munich event a bit special, and we really hope to see you all there. So on the night in the evening between the 12th, so after the label committee and before the plenary meeting, we are organizing a special covered bond label dinner, which will be for all the label issuers who have been supporting us. We are trying to organize this in a special place, because we are aware that people are a bit disappointed we go back to Munich. Munich is a lovely thing, but people were expecting to go to Barcelona. So we have tried to make an effort, and we will try to organize this special covered bond label dinner with a very high level speakers from the ECB, probably again there. In the Allianz Arena, so in the Stadium of Munich, we will be organizing also potential visit of the pitch, and then the day after, the plenary meeting will be in the old airport of Munich, in the Wappenhalle, for the ones who know Munich. And both venues are really special. We really hope to see you all there, because we are trying to make a really an effort to make this as a very successful event in terms of networking, content. We will have the European Banking Authority coming and speak to us, give us a clear idea of what they are doing. So please don't miss this nice appointment. And the dinner in the Allianz Arena will be only for covered bond label issuers. So you are all invited to join us. Sorry, Daniele, like this will
No.
give a bit of motivation to send comments.
Super, that's great. Okay, so if nothing further is to be said on this review process, let me quickly go then through the HTT 2023, which, as said in the beginning, is now bound to be the sole version which can be used at the starting from cutoff date 30th of March 2023. This means that the version this is the other Excel file you saw in the in my email. As you, especially, I believe, especially for your IT colleagues, be aware that with respect to the 2022 version, if you have not already switched to the 23, the changes are listed here in the completion instructions tab. Here you see the 14 changes. 14 will seem a big number, but be aware that besides one or two major changes where we have reshuffled the check table of the previous CRR 129.7 fact table to the article 14.2 fact table. The other things are really more, let's say, cosmetic. But in any case, if you want to have a complete overview of the changes which have been done, here you will find them. We've seen with my colleague Eduardo, we did a due diligence, and we already saw that 2/3 of the HTTs already before, already at last month, have already switched to the 23 version. Perhaps also for this exogenous push of having to be directive compliant. But we see there are still, let's say, around 60, 70 pools which are still using the 22 version, at least for the last, at least for Q4 22. So we kindly urge you to use this as soon as possible, because this is now it's you're bound to be also label convention compliant to use the new version. At this point, as I also told you at the beginning, the growing importance on ESG information. As you recall, we have also this little green leaf on the cover bond label, which flags the presence of sustainable covered bonds. Sustainable covered bond, we kept the definition quite ample, but considering now, at the last time we checked, we had over 125 billion of euro equivalent or euro outstanding sustainable covered bonds on our website, and we would like also here to provide more information and more, let's say, details and data on these covered bonds. For the time being, as you know, it was only a self-certification where when you were uploading your covered bonds on the cover bond label website, you could just flag our cover bond is sustainable, and that was it. In our last label committee meeting in last year, we have decided that whoever has a little green leaf close to his or her sustainable covered bonds is bound to provide some extra information in the current HTT version. To this, I'm now referring especially to all those issues with the sustainable covered bond, starting from cutoff date 2020 Q1 2023. We kindly ask you to insert, if you have a sustainable covered bond on our website, so with the green leaf. In tab A, the tab I have opened now, we have this 14 section I'm highlighting now, where we kindly ask you to provide information on sustainable or other special purpose strategies. For the time being, you see it's really a high level exercise. We do not provide that many information, but we kindly ask you to fill this out, and especially those who have sustainable cover assets in your cover pool. I'm talking now to those who have mortgages, because for the time being, in the 23 version, we only look at sustainable mortgages. We kindly ask you to fill out as much as you can if you have sustainable mortgage cover asset in your pool. The F1 tab here, which is a photocopy of the B1 tab, which looks at the mortgages, but is focusing only on the sustainable mortgages you have in your belly. From section 2 onwards, it's really a photocopy of the B1. In the section 1, we would like to see the share of how many energy efficient mortgage loans or social impact mortgage loans you have. So this is an information. We do not have here, also this to be really clear, we do not have here a minimum requirement to be provided. So for example, if you do not have EPC data on the mortgages you deem to be sustainable, it's fine. We know that all the banks, all the issuers are working very hard on receiving all this information. We really want to see an effort from all of you that the information you have available of the sustainable mortgages are filled out in the F1 tab. This again is for those issuers who have sustainable covered bond based on sustainable mortgages in their cover pool. Of course, discussing with a lot of you, we noticed also that there are several, let's say, issuers, and this is completely fine, who have sustainable covered bonds, but there are no sustainable cover assets in their cover pool, meaning that the proceeds or the returns of the cover bonds of the mortgages of their covered bond are invested in some sustainable or assets or other sustainable mortgages. In this case, for the time being, the HTT 2023 does not have a specific section for this. We are working, this is one of the key points we would like to work, we are working now in the ESG task force, and which will be now also improved in the next version. But in any case, for the time being, in order not to need to wait for other 3 or 4 quarters or 3 or 4 HTTs, or cutoff dates for you to be able to report this type of information, we kindly ask two categories of issuers. So those who have 3 categories of issuers: those who have considered to have a sustainable covered bond, but without sustainable cover assets in their belly, but they are investing in sustainable projects, sustainable assets. Those are the first category. The second category is those sustainable covered bond issuers, but who have a public sector assets as cover pool. And also, if there are any sustainable covered bond issuers who have shipping assets as a cover assets, to create, to insert here in the cell I'm highlighting now. This is an optional cell, so it's free to be used for you to write here sustainable covered bond use of proceeds. Sorry, I know I wrote the exact wording in the email I sent you, just to highlight it again. Here I wrote here: financing sustainable project without sustainable assets in the cover pool. So to use this wording, insert it here and then click here yes or no, write a yes, so that we have also in our HTT the proof that you are investing in sustainable assets without having sustainable cover assets in your cover pool. And then if you want to provide further information, please insert in the glossary here in section 2 an extra line, and where you can provide further information on your strategy. Or you can also just use line number 1 and insert here definition. I would say either you can write a one-liner, a sentence in where you explain better what is how you are deemed to be, let's say, sustainable, or we can also accommodate a link, a hyperlink to your pages where we have further information on this type of assets. I leave it to you. We leave it to you how you want to express this. Be aware that this is, let's say, a quick fix now to bridge to HTT 2024. In that by HTT 2024, we are working now to make it a little bit more structural, this passage, so that as Luca said, we can also please the legislator who are looking at it a bit more, let's say, attentively to this with fresh and systematic data points. On this point, on the ESG reporting and reporting requirements, I repeat, this reporting, at least the section A needs to be filled out for all sustainable covered bond labels, starting from cutoff date Q1 2023. Besides this, are there any, let's say, questions or comments from the audience on this point? Is there something not clear? Do you want me repeat something? Thank you. I open the floor for a minute. Okay, I don't see any raised hands. This seems then to be clear. For you also to know, we our team is undergoing also here due diligences. We are checking if who is using the green leaf and how they are reporting the information. With Eduardo, we are preparing now a series of emails to all the issues where we seem where we consider to be some information missing. So for sure. We have a lot of emails in our store, so quite probably someone also in the audience will receive an email from our end. We are happy then also here to enter in to discuss it also bilaterally to find the best solution here. With this said, I would conclude the explanation of HTT 2023 with a focus on the ESG section. And I would quickly go to our new website, where I would like a link to our HTTs to highlight the importance again of providing us with the HTT, not only what you're already doing every quarter or every month on your website, but also, if you have not done so, the information on to link your HTT on our website. As you see here, the page I show you, it's the issuer directory, where you see the list of all labeled issuer. We have now over 126. You see here on the right-hand side some issuers who have an orange button and other have a gray button. Those with an orange button, which I'm happy to say it's the majority, have already linked the HTTs they are producing with our, let's say, HTT reporting tool. I open just one by chance. You see here those who have linked the HTTs to our website have the possibility directly on our website to let their HTT, the latest HTT file, be directly downloaded to whoever is interested. So for investors, it's a very handy tool, because in this way they are on our website. They check a cover bond program. They see here we have the HTT. They can directly download it through our website. Be aware that the Excel file here is not technically saved on our website. We are not a repository of your Excel files, of your HTTs. They are only saved on your website. This is a direct link to the Excel file you have uploaded on your website. This is one point. The other point is you have here a first graphic check of the information of your cover pool. For example, here Achmea, they uploaded already the Q1 23, and you see here information on their OC levels. You see here information on their geographic breakdown, where the assets are located, loan size information, and so on and so forth. So you see, we translated the information which were in a dry Excel file into more interactive graphs. Also, all these graphs can be downloaded with a generate report tool, where you can choose the information you are most interested in. I can only echo what we hear from our colleagues, and also Nick is in the call, that the investors are really interested in this type of tool, because it will facilitate their due diligence enormously. Often they need to have they can, let's say, check or analyze a program in a matter of very short time. So having these tools able for them to be analyzed is a tremendous help for them. Let me also tell you that we are planning also to create HTT comparison tool. For the time being, you see here the HTT can be only seen one HTT at a time over and often over time. For example, in the overcharacterization, you see the evolution of OC levels over the quarters of this pool. What we are planning to do is to make a comparison. We can do a comparison between two cover pools of two different issuers, or we would like also to create some aggregate versions. So, for example, we say we would like to see the whole Dutch label covered bond market together, how they, what type of assets there are, and so on and so forth. These are still in the development by our side, but we hope that by Munich we will be able to present you here with some further information.
Daniele,
Yes.
I mean, just maybe to allow also Nick who's on the phone.
Yes.
I mean, all these improvements are the result of a constant dialogue with investors. We have been discussing quite regularly on a regular basis with different kind of investors to try to improve as much as possible the cover bond label website in a way which will help investors to do compliance due diligence. So these graphs are quite important because they can really copy and paste, send this to compliance and get approval for the investment. But maybe Nick, I don't know if I can steal you to tell us, just to share our Friday afternoon discussion with investors. I don't know if you want to give some kind of insight of what we do.
It's completely correct what you're saying here. This is all this information is extremely important to investors. Many of them really use it also on an automatic basis, so read it in their own systems and make use of it in that way. And even some of investors made clear to us that they don't even invest in certain covered bonds if not the HTT is not available. So all in all, it's extremely important, and also to continue improving and make it even more and better, providing better and more information going forward. So yeah, absolutely very important, and very much recognize also the achievements that we've made, and we also said earlier in this call, Luca. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so this really to stress the importance, the fact to upload this information. In order to upload these, it's also they are quite straightforward. We are now also developing with the team, with my colleague Eduardo, some tutorials to show you step by step how to upload these information, also do other things. What we'll also here inform you if you have any questions, any doubt how to upload these graphs, let us know. In a nutshell, you find the tool in your dashboard under the your cover pool programs, and click on the little magnifying glass, and there's follow the steps. In any case, again, if you're there also any questions, we can pick it up bilaterally, and we show you how to make this approach. As Luca and Nick said, these are really important tools, and we only heard a lot of, let's say, praises and compliments for these sections, both for investors, regulators. They're really interested in having these type of information at hand, and also handy to be used. With this said, just also to connect what I just said before, we have created also a new section. I'm highlighting it now on my shared screen. A how-to tutorial. If I click under information, you go here, how-to tutorial, and to click on this. For the time being, we have only 3 new videos, but at least other 4 are about to come. We are finalizing them with our video content manager, and they are, as the name says, short how-to videos to reply to the questions we receive mostly via email by several of you, and so rather than replying to you with a text, we have created a short video, so you can see all the steps. Of course, if after having seen these videos, you still have questions, do not hesitate to come back to us on this information on this point. Then another important improvement we have done is especially for the more tech savvy people of amongst us, is we have created an API tool both to download information. Now we're talking only about the covered bonds, so the liability side. You see here our list of covered bonds. We now have over 5,500. We have set up an API token here. You can request if you have already an account. So if you are an issuer and your contact detail is already saved in our system, I kindly ask you to first log in your page. And once you're logged in, go here and click on Ask Your API Token, because in this way, the API token you have requested will be immediately associated with your contact. And our IT supplier who are also happy to support you if you have then also there any further questions on how to use this API token. What you will receive is really a string of codes which you have to insert in an API reader, and there you can fill out all the information of the data points you would like to have to be automatically download all the information in your automatic information of the labeled covered bond labels the labeled covered bonds you find here on the website. This is for the download. The same API token, and this is I think especially interesting for our Danish friends, can be also used to automatically upload information of your labeled covered bonds. We know that there are some issues who need to adjust at the monthly or the quarterly level hundreds and hundreds of covered bonds, and it can be a quite tedious job to do it one by one, line by line. So this API token I have just talked about can be also used through for uploading your information. And also here I leave you try this API token, and if you have then there any specific question, come back to us, and if the question is too tech savvy, I will then also forward this to our IT managers who are also here in the call, so they can help you out in for any, let's say, more technical questions, which it's also beyond our understanding of the secretariat. Besides this point, let me quickly also remind you, this is more of information from a more of a broader perspective, that we, besides the covered bond label page, we are also working on the comparative database. The comparative database, we are ongoingly, let's say, improving the page. We are improving the outline and completing the missing dots here and there. The comparative database, as the name says, wants to compare all the covered bond frameworks we have, both with a label, with at least a covered bond label presence, but also those beyond. So this is really the repository of all the frameworks of covered bonds, both in the European Economic Area and also beyond. Here on this framework,
maybe Daniele,
yes.
Let's stress the invitation of for national coordinators to share, I mean, the countries which are not completed here.
Yes.
Because, I mean, this is extremely important for investors. As Nick said, they use this for due diligence. So having the regulatory framework next to the ISINs that they are buying is of fundamental importance. So we really invite national coordinators to be in contact with us to provide the questionnaire of their national legislation. And also, if you want to make a little video explaining the key element of your legislation. I think those are very powerful way to present your legislation, and they are used quite a lot by investors. So please make sure that your country is fully covered, and that everything has been completed. Edo is at your complete disposal. You can see all the different videos. You know, we ask you not to go behind the 5 minutes in YouTube. 5 minutes, it's quite a lot. So I mean, between 3 minutes, I think is the best timing for describing your legislation. But please do so, because it's an important point of reference for the investor community. Thank you, Daniele. Sorry for interrupting you.
No problem, no problem. Thanks, thanks, Luca. So you have here both the framework, but you can also compare the legislations according to specific sections. So if you are interested in, for example, the type of cover assets in a sub-selection of countries, you can select and get the information in an Excel file and share it and download, and then eventually also share the information. This information, as Luca said, is also present on our covered bond label website. So if you go under national information, click here on Belgium, you see here the information of the National Association, but also all the legislation which are present on the comparative database. First of all, you have the covered bond legislative overview, so the comparative database section, but also all the information on primary, secondary law, other further information like Hipostat article, factbook article. So Hipostat is the more mortgage and housing asset article. The factbook looks more on the covered bond side, and here you have also the list where available of which European covered bond label premium there are in that country. So we really tried to package all the relevant information at a fingertip for you, for the investors in your covered bonds. So to provide everybody the best, let's say, service possible.
Maybe Daniele, just to explain some operational tool. The previous years, we wanted to share only documents in English because English was the common language. Now, after the covered bond implementation of the directive, we have decided to put also the original language. Now, we have also all in use, apart from Google Translate, but DeepL, for example, DEEPL is a very common instrument which is used to translate, even from the European Commission, legal documents. So, I mean, now we are a bit more confident that we can share with you a document in Dutch, in French, in Italian, in German, because it's very easy to translate. It takes really 2 seconds to translate a long legislative text in another language, in English. So, I mean, for us, we decided to put the original source in whatever language will be, because like this, investors can refer directly to the official legislative source of the country. So, I mean, that was a bit of change in our approach. But I think this was done for compliance reasons. Thank you, Daniele.
No problem. Thanks. Thank you, Luca. So these are, let's say, the improvements we have now inserted on our website. As said, the improvement pipeline is never finishing. We are going also to develop new improvements, such as new graphs for our reporting tool. We are focusing, amongst other, also on the ESG section, in order also to complement the further data requests we ask you to fill out in the HTT. Would like also to show this information on our website. Yeah, we try also to do here an HTT comparison tool where we can insert in one page all the HTT's links we have collected for the time being, so that interested parties can have a more systematic approach and grasp of all this information. And yeah, of course, these are endogenous, let's say, improvements we are working on, hearing comments from you as issuer community, from the investors, from legislators. So if you see on the website, on the HTT, on the way we are reporting information, any room for improvement or any suggestions, please let us know. We are quite proud of this tool because it's, as Luca said, it's a market tool. We are proud to be so reactive, so operational on all this information and to translate into new actions, any, let's say, suggestions, sensible suggestions we receive. So if you have anything, please let us know, and we for sure will take care of your suggestions. I stop here. I open the floor quickly if there are any, let's say, from the audience, any last points you want to share with us, comments, suggestions, remarks. Yeah, I open the floor. Thank you. I don't see any action or activity from the audience. I think, yeah. With this, I think we've been quite clear, Luca, so we can, I would say, thank you so much for all having been part of this short webinar. Luca, I leave you the floor for final remarks or comments. Luca, you're muted.
Sorry, Daniele. Yeah, we invite all of you to give us your feedback. Also, a big thank you to the national coordinators that are really helping us in maintaining the governance machine efficient. So please speak to your national coordinators. Please let us know what is comfortable for you, what is not comfortable for you, because we are always ready to change and to improve things to make your life a bit easier. Also, be ensured that the label committee will not change things just for the sake of changing. I mean, we are changing things only when it is really, really needed, and there are clear signs that something is not operationally smart, because we want to keep stability of this instrument, and we don't want you to change things if they have been already inserted in your IT system or things are already working very nicely from your hand. We really hope to see you all in Munich. In a few minutes' time, we will send an email to all our members asking for support, because I mean we are also asking if you want to be interested in sponsorship. So if there is any of you that would like to support our Munich event, please let us know. It will be something special. It will be also a special moment for the market, because I mean we are opening probably other 2 years of intense lobbying to make sure that our global community will be fully recognized by the European Commission. So we are really trying to hope to build a global community where issuers in Canada, in Singapore, in South Korea, in Australia, in New Zealand will be fully part of the covered bond family. Of course, also our UK friends that are very, very close to our heart, that will remain officially recognized by the European Commission. So it's a new window, it's a new page for the covered bond history, and we would like to start this new period from Munich with a very important event in a special place, and we really hope to see you all there. Thank you very much.